Joshua Martinez, welcome to the podcast booth, the truck, the whatever we call this. Welcome.
Hey, you guys did an amazing job. It was great to see it come together, and so thank you for having me.
So, Joshua, tell me who you are, what you do, what you're all about, your company, who you represent. Give me the pitch. Who are you?
Yeah, so my name is Joshua Martinez. I'm the co-founder of the OSO Consulting Group. We were founded in December of 2020.
Okay. A pandemic baby.
Yes, we
Nice.
are.
Okay.
And this year we're celebrating year 5. And what we do is we help organizations process map their NAID AAA compliance journey.
Wow.
It's a mouthful. I prefer to reduce it down to standard operating procedure development and implementation.
Okay, so let me start by saying, how the heck did you get into this crazy space?
Yeah.
Like, what caused you to all of a sudden in 2020 start the business, and then at some point in time you decided you would be good at NAID AAA certification?
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, it's my first time. I'm a first time attendee, and I've loved the industry so far. And really, it was an impact of COVID. So my first career and what you could say our bread and butter is hospitality and tourism consulting.
Really?
Specific in operations, health, and safety.
Okay.
Yeah.
Operations, health, and safety, and that's where you came out of. That was your former industry.
Oh, and we're still supporting them. So during COVID, we had to pivot and find other verticals to stay in successful. Essentially, there's no other way to cut it. And our client out of El Paso, Texas, gave us a call. They said, "Hey, word of mouth says you guys write standard operating procedures," and I said yes. And so I met with them one morning, and they said, "Hey, this is what we do. This is what we want to do with NAID AAA compliance. Can you help us?" And so what I did was I codified all of their procedures. They've been in business for 30 years, and we went through the application process. We went through the specifications manual. We chased down everything that we needed. We scheduled the audit, and I was there with them on audit day. And so,
really,
yes, sir.
So so you come out of all these other industries, and you get into the shredding industry with your client in El Paso. And so, tell me sort of what your sense of this was. How did it compare to other industries you play in? What did you see that sort of compelled you to now show up today at our conference?
Yeah.
What was it about it that made you go, oh, this is something we really want to dig into more?
Well, there's multiple ways to answer that, and I'll give you a couple of answers. First, I love legal language.
Okay.
And I love compliance. It sounds crazy.
Yeah,
but
you're wacky.
Yeah,
Wacky.
yeah. The information disposition book was really enjoyable, and I mean that sincerely. In learning the impact of data security protection, and so I really loved that piece.
Okay.
And honestly, the association has been super welcoming. Price and Jenny reached out. We worked together on coming here and participating and exhibiting and being on a panel. So I was yesterday I was on a panel for NAID compliance, and it's cool to be welcomed in with open arms, and I love coaching. At the end of the day, through our health and safety training, we can train in first aid, CPR, food safety management, and there's a lot of those things where people's lives are at stake, whether it's identity theft or the loss of life due to drowning. And I know they're very polar,
different, yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're protecting people, and that's what matters.
Got it. So somebody walks up to your booth, and I've seen many people do that. What's your pitch? Like, how do you? They say, "Hey, what do you do?" Like, "Hey, what do you do?"
Yeah.
How do you pitch specifically in this audience now? Like, what's your sort of, not your 30-second pitch, but a slightly longer one? How do you describe what you're going to do, and what's the value proposition you're bringing?
Yeah. And I'm going to try not to bore you with the water park stuff, but I opened 7 water parks in 10 years across the country. 3 as an employee for some of the biggest companies like Great Wolf Resorts. But then in 2020, We opened 4 water parks in 90 days for the city of El Paso, Texas. And the reason why I say this is we develop and we walk you through and we teach you and we train you how to be successful in whatever objective you're trying to meet.
Okay.
And so for a NAID AAA compliance request, we're going to make it as seamless as possible for you. And after opening those 7 parks, we developed the framework that I believe can be applied to any industry because we like to say operations is operations is operations. A truth is a truth is a truth. Therefore, it will work here. That framework is very simple. Recruit the best, train the best, operate the best, develop the best, and you'll retain the best. That's not just team, but also client.
Got it. Okay. So, so then let's go not to your first client, but let's go to your second client.
Yeah.
Or your third or 23rd.
Yeah.
What's the process that unfolds to go through those stages to get them to NAID AAA certification that's different than trying to do it on their own? Like, what's the distinction? So give me a sense of how you walk a company through this process versus them doing it on their own.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. We as entrepreneurs and people of industry, we understand that there are subject matter experts at certain things, right? And in this idea where we have owners, operators wearing multiple hats, let's bring people in who come from auditing and training and understanding compliance. I have more to learn, and I'm excited to learn more about data protection and destruction, but going back to compliance language, that's my bread and butter. Right. I love it. And I'm as people are coming to the booth, they say, I'm stuck in the regulation, definition, interpretation, and I'm like, hey, it's as easy as butter. I got you. And so it is good. Bringing that sense of seamless integration, right? It's bringing that piece of control, kind of like what our guest speaker said yesterday. You know, we give our clients a sense of control. We walk them through. We support them. We don't just give you a playbook and walk out. I intentionally said that, we walk with our clients on audit day because at the end of the day, I want to be there with you when you're succeeding. And if there is an issue, hey, I'm going to be accountable, right? You brought me on your team.
Right. Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's lacking in business. And I don't mean about this industry, but I mean just in general, right? Like we sold it, we got it, and let's move on. No, this is about relationships and making sure people are set up for success.
Yeah. So, given that's the value prop, give me a sense of the journey.
Yeah.
So how do you, like, somebody says, yes, let's move ahead. Now that you know the NAID AAA playbook, right? So what do you do with them? Give me a sense of the journey that you take with a specific client.
Yeah. So, for example, let's say that it is an operation that does shredding, storage, and on-site shredding. So you have off-site storage, off-site shredding, and on-site shredding. Right. So you do the whole thing. We are going to go to your operation. So if you're in Columbus, Ohio, per se, I'm going to fly in, and I'm going to be part of your operation. I'm going to learn the ins and outs. I'm going to talk to your staff. I'm going to look for opportunities to meet the standard. That can take, depending on the size of your organization, how many staff you have, but let's just keep it at a mid-size operation per se. It can take 2 weeks to 10 days, business days of me watching you do your thing, asking you questions, seeing what we're missing from the manual specifically. If we need to integrate a new CCTV program, if we need to harden the site, as the book says, then we look at those barriers such as fences, locks, etc. So we're living there with you.
Okay, and then once you do that, now because you have experience in the AAA requirements.
Yep.
Now, once you understand what they're like, what the client's like, then you can start to say, This is what you need. This is the next step.
Yep.
This is the
and
action.
so step 2 in this process is I take all of your internal data and I marry it to the specifications of the manual.
Okay.
Right? And once you and I both agree that it does meet the standard, then together we fill out the application. We set up that first announced audit, and then I'll come back to make sure that day is a successful day.
Oh, cool.
And so it's literally by your side, supporting you every step of the way.
So as you were saying that, it crossed my mind. What did you feel like the day you did that very first NAID audit? Was it kind of a
nerve-wracking?
Yeah.
Yeah, and listen, for those folks that were in our session on NAID compliance, Bill Reinhart out of Merit Profiles, he really suggested to the group saying, you should have people on your team that are prepared to support the auditor request, right? And so as silly as that might sound, it's something that can be an oversight if you're not prepared, because they're looking for initial screening, ongoing screening. They're looking for operational items, whether it's your trucks, your bins, your shredders, your storage. If you develop a centralized location to have all those answers in chronological order, your audit will be more efficient. I don't want to call it fast because I don't want to speak for the auditor, but when we did our first audit with our client in Texas, we were done. We were done quickly. It was nice to have everything on hand.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, that's really exciting. Well, I'm deeply intrigued, and I think it's time for you to show up in this industry. So thank you for coming.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for being a part of it, and thank you for sharing your process with us, Joshua.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So, are you developing a team? Do you have a full team? Are you, or is this you coming and are you the only one that comes out, or how does this all operate?
Yeah, no, it depends. So there's 2 of us on our team. We're what I would still call us a startup. And my business partner's actually in the Bahamas right now, working with some clients. So good for him. But we're here, and we'll come out and do it.
Okay.
The 2 of us, or depending on what the scope is.
Very cool. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your story. Welcome to the community. We're
Thank
glad
you.
you're here.
Thank you.
I hope you have many incredible success years ahead of you.
Yeah, I hope to see you next year in San Diego.
You absolutely will.
Thanks, John.
Cheers.